This blew me away. I couldn't believe that I was reading this. Woodward/Costa book. Worried Trump could go rogue. Milley took secret action to protect nuclear weapons. You see how they do that too? This is CNN. And I'm using CNN for a reason. Because of their bias. And I'm going to read this. And I'm going to poke holes in it. And also be shocked at the reality of the truth side of this. I have a cat hair in my mouth. Ugh. Got it. Okay. Look, this is insane. 2 days after, see, it starts right off the bat. Hold on. 2 days after the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. My God, right off the bat. It was not an attack on the U.S. Capitol. It was not an insurrection. FBI already proved it. There was no connection to President Donald Trump. He didn't incite insurrection, yet they keep spouting this stuff. It was not an attack on the Capitol. Yes, there was some bad eggs there. Yes, they were actors. Sure, there might not, maybe not all of them. But as you may know, I was there that day, and it was peaceful. It was peaceful. No one was attacking. There's pictures of the dude giving the peace sign. They were smoking doobies in there. It's a joke. Anyone who says it's an attack, and shame on all of those people out there that were comparing January 6th to 9/11. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Hillary Clinton, George Bush. Shame on you. Shame on you. Absolutely disgusting. I had to say that because look, it comes in hot. President Donald Trump's top military advisor, Joint Chiefs Chairman General Mark Milley, single-handedly took secret action to limit Trump from potentially ordering a dangerous military strike or launching nuclear weapons. According to Peril, a new book by legendary journalist Bob Woodward and veteran Washington Post reporter Robert Costa. All right. Cool. A Washington Post reporter, veteran and legendary journalist. Okay, CNN. Thanks. All right, well, it sounds awfully biased. Woodward and Costa write that Milley, deeply shaken by the assault, oh my God, oh no, clutching his pearls, was certain that Trump had gone into a serious mental decline in the aftermath of the election, with Trump now all but manic, screaming at officials and constructing his own alternative reality about endless election conspiracies. I'm sorry, they are not conspiracies. I did countless episodes, segments on all the different discrepancies in the 2020 election, which there are many in every single state. We just found out about hundreds of thousands of votes that either weren't counted or were illegitimate in Arizona, which was called by just over 10,000 votes. Georgia, same thing. It was called by only 12,000 votes. And we're finding that tens of thousands weren't even delivered because the USPS sucks. Now I just heard that Wisconsin is going to be opening up inquiry. Election conspiracies. If he was such a fascist, if Trump was such a fascist, wouldn't he have just maintained power? Wouldn't he have actually tried to do something? Because as the FBI has proved for everyone, which I'm pretty sure we all know, the FBI is kind of, left-leaning, more on for the Democrats. Maybe not all of them, all right? If you guys aren't, but that's okay. Even they have proved that Trump had nothing to do, and in fact, there wasn't any insurrection. Scant evidence, I believe they said. Scant, which basically said, we can't say none, but we really want to say something, so we'll say scant. Yeah. Because if they had any evidence, they would have shown it But CNN doesn't care. They have to reiterate this over and over and over again to keep people from realizing that Trump's actually not too bad. Milley worried that Trump could go rogue, the authors write. You never know what a president's trigger point is, Milley told his senior staff, according to the book. In response, Milley took extraordinary action and called a secret meeting in his Pentagon office on January 8th to review the process for military action, including launching nuclear weapons. What was he going to do? Launch nukes on Americans or something? Do you think he was that deranged? I listened to I was there 2 days before this. He was calm. He was talking about the stuff, but he wasn't deranged. He wasn't manic. He wasn't screaming. He was talking calmly like every other rally I've ever seen him. I just happened to, I wanted to see him with my own eyes and listen to him myself. Absolutely crazy. This is a quote. No matter what you are told, you do the procedure, you do the process, and I am part of that procedure, Milley told the officers, according to the book. He then went around the room, looked at each officer in the eye, and asked them to verbally confirm they understood. Got it? Oh, I missed this part. Look, Milley instructed them all not to take orders from anyone unless he was involved. Wow. Got it? He asked. Yes, sir. Milley considered it an oath, the authors write. Peril is based on more than 200 interviews from first-hand participants and witnesses, and it paints a chilling picture of Trump's final days in office. The book, Woodward's third on the Trump presidency, oh, gotta love just making them Trump bucks. That's all this is to me. Recounts behind-the-scenes moments of a commander-in-chief unhinged and explosive, yelling at senior advisors and aides as he desperately sought to cling to power. Is that what it really was? Because to me, there's so much here to say. This is so ridiculous, right? You could see the fear-mongering. If he really was that unhinged, he would have done something about it. He didn't. There wasn't a coup. He didn't cling to power. He was trying to make all the election discrepancies that I have seen myself. I've seen the videos. There's so many different examples of all the different stuff. When they kept pushing the goalposts. Well, it's not. There's no fraud. Okay, well, there's no widespread fraud. Okay, well, there's no widespread fraud that would change the election of the 2020 election, the outcome of the 2020 election. Okay, well, actually, we fortified the election to make sure that Donald Trump wouldn't win. They actually had that article. You guys remember that, right? There was that article that they said, hey, by the way, we are the cabal that fortified the election. We made sure we changed all these laws so that we can make sure that everyone got their vote and we got Trump out. Maybe those were the things that Trump was pissed about, because maybe he was seeing that the election was being stolen from him. Maybe you think that might be where his head was at? I mean, that makes sense to me. I don't know about you, but I think so. It gets crazier. I'm just going to skip again. Here we go. Then Milley received a blunt phone call from House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Oh, good. How do you guys think this is going to go? It goes exactly how you would think it goes. According to the book, Woodward and Costa exclusively obtained a transcript of the call, during which Milley tried to reassure Pelosi that the nuclear weapons were safe. Why are they so... What they wanted to make a huge mountain, this massive mountain that they can point to and be like, look, see, we were right this whole time. And you look at it and it's a tiny little molehill, right? Mountain out of a molehill, you know that? When people try to make a huge deal out of something when it really isn't. I mean, look at AOC, for example. She was 3 blocks away in a completely different building. Before anyone even got there, Secret Service was locking everything down because they found pipe bombs, which no one knew who they were. The person knew exactly where the cameras were, knew exactly how to look away and plant the stuff. All real shady. They didn't really even look into it as much as they should have. But that's the reason they were pounding on her door like, are you safe? Are you in there? They weren't going to do anything to her, as she claims, which is just ridiculous. She was safe. She thought she was going to get killed. She thought that they were going to do more than kill her. No, you didn't, AOC. You will do anything for clout from the internet. My goodness. And that's what these people are doing. Okay, so sorry, I went off a little bit. Here's the phone call. Pelosi pushed back. Quote, what I'm saying to you is that if they couldn't even stop him from an assault on the Capitol, who even knows what else he may do? And is there anybody in charge at the White House who was doing anything but kissing his fat butt all over this? Wow, Nancy Pelosi. Okay, first off, Nancy, I was listening to his speech myself in D.C. that day. Not once did he say to anyone to be violent, to go inside the Capitol at all. He said to go over there peacefully and legally have our voices be heard by protesting in front of the Capitol building. He didn't tell anyone to go inside. The people that went inside, in fact, I'm pissed about because they ruined the evidence that the Democrats were supposedly, I say supposedly because I don't know if they even had the backbone to even do this, bring the evidence out and show it, and it would have been live. Because it was live. We were watching them count the votes that day. I was very in tune with what was going on. Pelosi continues. You know he's crazy. He's been crazy for a long time. So that's the House Speaker claiming that the sitting president has been crazy for a long time. Not just a couple days. A long time. What does that mean? She ripped up his speech, the State of the Union speech. Nancy Pelosi, you know that you've hated this man for a long time. It's not that he's been crazy, it's that you hate him. It's because he goes against everything that you and everyone around you, your family, Nancy, goes against. That's right. Can't stand that family. According to Woodward and Costa, Milley responded, Madam Speaker, I agree with you on everything. Wow. So Trump's general that's supposed to be taking his orders went behind his back and was talking crap about him, saying he's crazy, he's cuckoo, telling all of the subordinates, don't listen to anyone but me. If you hear any orders, you run them by me. I'm in charge here. Wow. Oh, man. But it gets worse. I can't even believe. After the call, Milley decided he had to act. He told his top service chiefs to watch everything all the time. He called the director of National Security Agency, Paul Nakasone, and told him, needles up, keep watching, scan. And he told then CIA Director Gina Haspel, aggressively watch everything 360. The author is right. Milley was overseeing the mobilization of America's national security state without the knowledge of the American people or the rest of the world. Oh, that's reassuring. Woodward and Costa also write that some might contend that Milley had overstepped his authority and taken extraordinary power for himself. You think? Yeah, absolutely. Wow. But he believed his actions were a good faith precaution to ensure that there was no historic rupture in the international order, no accidental war with China or others, and no use of nuclear weapons. Why? Wow. What, they thought he was just going to hit the button? No, Trump's not going to launch nukes. He's the peace president. Remember? First president in over 20 years to not start a war. In fact, he was creating peace all over the place. Remember that? The guy who doesn't like war, who loves our military service, gives them the respect they're due. Joseph Biden, I'm talking about you. Disrespectful asshole. Sorry, I had to swear there. Sometimes I can't help myself. But watching Joe Biden disrespect our troops over and over and over again over the past year before he even became president, it is so aggravating watching that man disrespect our troops. I'm sorry. You know, I've got my own brother's a Marine. I've got my uncle flew helicopters in Vietnam and barely got out of there with his life. He wrote a book about it. It's insane what he's been through. This, FBI said there's no insurrection on January 6th. Huh. This sounds like treason. Yeah, this sounds like treason. But this gets worse. Oh my gosh, does it get worse? Where is it? I'm not going to read all this because they just love bashing Trump, talking about, well, Trump this, Trump that. I don't know where it says in this article. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but Milley called China. He called China and said, hey, listen, don't worry. If Trump's going to do anything, I'll let you know. That's what he said. He called China and said, hey, if Trump's going to do anything against you guys, I'm going to let you know firsthand so it's not a surprise. Okay, I'm going to read something to you. This is U.S. Code 2381 for treason. Whoever, owing allegiance to the United States, levies war against them or adheres to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort within the United States or elsewhere, is guilty of treason and shall suffer death. He called China. He undermined the sitting president of the United States and said, don't worry, if he does anything, I'll let you know. Now, he didn't. Not surprising, because Trump isn't one to get into wars if you knew anything about his presidency at all. This is all to just vilify him, to make him the boogeyman, to make him that person that they can say, like Gavin Newsom yesterday, if you vote for Larry, you know, you're bringing in Trumpism. You're voting for Trumpism. Trump loves America. He honors our troops. He hugs that flag. He looks at this flag and say, this is an amazing piece of cloth right here. This represents so much. That right there, that's diversity, Gavin Newsom. That is diversity. That represents all of us. Not just a select few. If you're an American, that represents you. And the ability to do what you need to do to thrive. And they need to get rid of that. They need to vilify anyone that wants to feel that way, that wants freedom. No, you need government to help you. I'm sick of it. I am sick of this. This treason. He went behind a sitting president and gave them aid and said, if he's going to do something, I will come to you and let you know. What if Trump got intel that you didn't know about, General Milley? And he had action and needed to make a move. And you went and said, China, he's going to make a move. He's going to do this. What about that? Granted, it didn't happen. I'm just talking hypothetical here. Because you hypothetically thought that he was going to drop a nuke on someone. Where have you been? You know anything about the man at all? Crazy. So I can't believe I read this. This dude needs to be arrested, court-martialed. He needs to be gone. But I'll tell you what, he's not going anywhere. Why? Because he's a shill to the establishment. He is doing exactly what the Biden regime wants. Studying his white rage. All right, I'm done with this.